Did you ever hear the tragedy of GPU prices? I thought not. Not a story the AI bros would tell you. Well, I hope you're bending over because the suppository's coming in one way or the other. A recent report indicates that Nvidia is going to be pushing the prices of RTX 5090 up to 5K. This is still an unconfirmed rumor from an insider source in South Korea, from what I can understand. That's kind of like, boots on the ground that's talking about it right now, which is where this headline is stemming from. Previous price was 2K. This is over double. That's an awfully hard bargain there. 5,000 clams for a GPU here. Not exactly an easy sell to most people, I would imagine. Most sensible, sane human beings on the planet would be pretty upset about that. Now, again, this isn't fully confirmed, but what we do know is that, well, prices are probably going to be going up, which isn't all that surprising. I think most people were able to predict this. Don't need to be Baba Vanga to have that kind of future sight. We're already seeing it with RAM prices, and I gotta tell you, you might not like to hear this, but we're gonna rip the band-aid off. It's because of AI. Everything that was once good in your life, or everything that was reasonably priced in the tech sector, is getting significantly worse and significantly more expensive because of AI. If you want to keep plugging your ears to that fact, or just keep kicking the can down the road for the realization of AI having a supremely negative effect on your life, that's your call to make. But regardless, the sun still rises. The AI plague, the scourge, is coming. Whether you want to accept it or not doesn't matter. It is coming fast, aggressive, hard, and unlubed. It is raw. So I think it's best that you start paying attention to all of this now. Anyway, back to the regularly scheduled doom and gloom here. So the claim about the GPU prices from Nvidia and all that, it comes from Newsys, a South Korean outlet. It was stressed that we're just seeing the beginning of monumental and borderline ridiculous price hikes in the GPU space. The report explained that sources have suggested a climb in RTX 5090 stakes from $2,000 at launch this year to as much as $5K later in 2026. AMD's RX 9000 series is apparently set to mimic that ticket growth, but not as steeply. The article also has a brief mention of the RAM prices, which I've also touched on and what I've also bitched about quite a few times now because of AI-driven data centers, and also one of only 3 RAM manufacturers just abandoning the consumer market come 2026 because they'd rather instead just exclusively sell and work with AI. So, yippee! That's great for all the normal people out there that want some technology in their homes. Hopefully you like fucking flint and steel and start learning the ways of the Amish, because soon technology will be a luxury you can't afford. It's crazy how as we get more and more advanced, it just starts to price people out. It's not getting cheaper, it's getting so much worse because of AI. And there's this crazy hopium, this fucking crackpot lunacy thought process that people have, that once these AI data centers are all established and all these companies, worth trillions, start slowing down a little bit, well, then everything's going to get so much cheaper and it's going to be great for all of us. It's just going to be short-term pain for the long-term gain, because that always works. Trickle down has a great history. That is a fucking flawless. That's 100% win rate when it comes to trickle down. And not only that, we all know corporations love to lower their prices. So once they're set up and once they've made oodles unfathomable amounts of money, they'll definitely start lowering the prices for every average Joe Schmo out there. That happens all the time. They love lowering prices. We see it often because they are for the people. So it's clearly just a matter of time before everything's really affordable again in the tech sector. We just gotta wait for them to reach the golden age, and then it's all smooth sailing. We're in good shape. And until then, well, why don't you just go ahead and start renting computers? Yes, a subscription-based economy. Just start renting your PCs, because you don't need to own anything. Companies don't want you to own anything. You will own nothing and you will be happy. You can have the imagination of ownership with their little permission slip. You can license it for a certain amount of time, and that's all you need. You don't need any pesky ownership of anything, especially not a computer. I'm getting a little lost in the sauce of sarcasm. It's all bad. It's all really bad right now. It sucks. This wonderful little nugget of good news also comes on the heels of a previous blessing that Nvidia gave us, where it was announced that Nvidia might be cutting supply by up to 40% in 2026 due to memory shortages. I already talked about that, where there is the potential that Nvidia is going to be cutting back on supply by 30 to 40% come 2026. Very few things to be smiling about when it comes to the future of PC gaming, and not just PC gaming. I know everyone gets focused on that. This affects every industry in the tech space. I know a lot of people are like, oh, that means consoles will be the best option going forward too. And maybe they will be a more price-conscious option because PCs are looking to astronomically change in price. But those are also going to be affected too. The price on those is also going to be all cattywampus as well. It's just a matter of time. We don't know what that's going to look like, but it's going to happen. They use components that are exploding in price. So it's everything that's going to be affected, and it's not just gaming. It is literally everything in the tech space that uses these components, and guess what? That's pretty much everything in the tech space. Now, to revisit the article briefly about the GPU price soaring, both companies are reportedly planning to continue raising GPU prices every month going forward. It's highly likely that the price increases will extend across their entire product lineup, encompassing not only consumer GPUs, but also GPUs for AI data centers and servers. The average proportion of memory in the overall GPU manufacturing cost has recently exceeded 80%. This comes from the insider that's making these claims. Again, none of it's fully confirmed or anything, but it also wouldn't even fucking surprise me. 2K to 5K is an incredible leap, but it's also just not that unrealistic anymore, actually. Like, take for example something even simpler, like a Game Pass. They literally doubled the price of that product. Companies aren't really afraid to absolutely blow up their price because people still pay it. So they just say fucking cowabunga and let it rip. So I do think 2 to 5K, while being astronomical, isn't something that's off the table. Now again, it's not confirmed. Maybe it won't be up to 5K. Price will increase, no doubt, but maybe it won't go up to that crazy level. Maybe it doesn't, but even still, it probably will be a sizable price increase that is just something to not look forward to. And it's really like, I'm not seeing any like good news coming in the future with all of this shit. Like, it feels like it's only going to continue to spiral more and more out of control for just your average consumer. It just super sucks. And even the most adamant of deniers will eventually have that come to Jesus moment of, wow, I can't afford things now because of AI. This is having a detrimental impact on my life. It's going to happen at some point, but until then, I guess they'll just continue to AI generate trash Reddit tier fucking Keanu Reeves Deadpool videos out the wazoo till the cows come home, and then eventually they can't afford the computer to do that anymore. Yep, terrible stuff. Anyway, just wanted to yap about this a bit. That's it. See ya.